now. We the talk around town. Alex threw the ball to Smokey for a touchdown. It's fourth down and you don't really want no more. We've been winning from the door. You should check the scoreboard. Check the scoreboard.
Welcome back to another episode of the Scoreboard. We're looking at Week 9 for the NFL. We got all the picks, all the predictions, and a little bit of betting advice. How to make the easiest $10 of your life in Week 9 betting on NFL games. Coming up at the end of the show. But first, Smokey, how are you doing?
Oh, man, I'm good. I'm better than Jets fans right now. They're never going to win a game.
You made that prediction. You said the Jets would not win a game
halfway
as
there.
long as Adam Gase is coaching.
Yes, halfway there. So if they keep him for the rest of the year, this may be one of those elusive 0-16 seasons, man.
Well, it's a surefire way to get the first overall pick, which a lot of teams seem to be competing for that right now.
Yeah. Well, and there's no one in that division they can beat, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's probably true.
I mean,
they look pretty good.
They still got the Bears. I mean, look, the Dolphins look good right now, so they're not beating the Dolphins. They're not beating anyone.
Well, they'll have another shot this week, but we'll get there when we get to that. First of all, how are our standings looking? I know that last week, of course, I made up a bunch of ground on you. How did it look this time?
Well, 2 picks you made up on me. You made it sound like, oh, I got 10 right, you got 1 right. But no.
Didn't I get 3 last time?
I think you did make 3. Let me look back. Yeah.
It was definitely close.
You made 2 on me. No, was it 3? Yeah. I
think it was 3.
Because you passed me by 1 point.
The Steelers.
Yeah. You passed me by 1 point. So at the end of last week, we were at 68.5 to 69.5.
Okay.
I got 8 correct this past week, and you got 9, so you made 1 more point on me.
Okay, we'll take it. 1 point a week is good enough. So that starting week 14, I don't have to worry about it as much anymore. We will take it. What game made the difference?
Oh well, I don't.
Do we know that right offhand?
Yeah.
What do we disagree on?
You had the Bears, I had the Saints, which I got that one right.
Oh, yeah. Barely.
Steelers and the Ravens, I had the Ravens.
Okay, yeah.
And there's another
Steelers have made me 2 points already.
Browns and Raiders, yes.
Right, obviously. The fraud bowl.
Yeah, and you had the Raiders, which turned out to not be as big of frauds as the Browns. And
they are.
Well, yeah, the weather played a big factor in that, man, because there was touchdowns that just should have happened that didn't happen, and I think there was some bad reffing in that game also.
Yeah, that's kind of been a theme over this weekend, I think, in a couple of different games. But okay, Up 2 points, can't complain about that. I'm trying to defend that and hopefully even extend the lead. You take the lead, you never let it go. So that's my goal starting today. Let's go into Thursday night, and this is a big revenge game potentially for an NFC Championship game that was not pretty last year. Packers at the 49ers. What do you got?
Man, well, we all remember that outcome, of course, because the Niners went on to the Super Bowl. And I think in this situation, we're going to see the exact opposite. Why? Because the San Francisco high ankle sprainers, or as you said, the 40 sprainers, because they're probably up to about 40 high ankle sprains at this point.
Yeah,
and
it's not missing a lot.
The Packers are coming off of a loss to the division rivals that they should not have lost. They just let them get out ahead and then couldn't catch them in the end. And I say that Aaron Rodgers should be mad about that. And he's going to go down to San Francisco and put a whooping on the Niners because the Niners don't have anybody left.
So here's the thing. I said this, and we said this before the season. If it were to come down to this one again, we know how this goes. We know the matchup. It's a mismatch all the way around, and Niners are going to win easily. I said that before the season, and we said that last season already, and when the Packers didn't improve in the draft, we said that was inevitable. The problem is, this is not the same 49ers team that did it not once but twice to the Packers last year. That was a completely different team. You're looking at 25 players almost. That is like half the roster with injury concerns / on IR / having missed time. That is completely unprecedented, and now you got your best player in George Kittle, your most important player in Jimmy Garoppolo, going potentially both on season-ending IR. This season is over as it can be, sitting at 4-4, headed for maybe 8-8, if lucky at this point, given the type of players that are going to be starting. I am taking the Packers here. Typically I wouldn't, but Aaron Rodgers is going to take the opportunity for some payback for some humiliation last year to get this win on Thursday night, keep the Packers in prime position to win the North. Giants at the football team.
Man, this was actually tough for me because the Giants have actually, even though they're still losing, they've gotten continuously better, I think, throughout the past few games. And they've come close to winning their last 2 games against decent opponents. You know, I guess you can't really count the Eagles, but they came really close to beating the Bucs this time. And, you know, I think maybe Danny Dimes is finding his way. You know, he's still having a few fumbles and interception issues. But the football team, you know, they looked good in their last outing, and they're coming off of a bye, so that makes it really tough. I mean, technically this is still a tank bowl, so whoever wants it more is probably going to throw this game. But with all that into consideration, you know, Kyle Allen, it's tough. I'm going to go with the Giants on the road, man, because I think that maybe Daniel is actually trying to win games. And there's still a possibility that the football team is just playing for a high draft pick.
Well, Danny's trying to keep his job for sure. I'm not going to agree with you. I'll take the Giants as well. I think they're just a higher upside team. They almost beat Tampa, almost beat Philly. There's a lot of almost there, but this Washington team is 2 steps below even the Eagles and like 5 steps below the Buccaneers. I think the Giants are just a better team. They have the better player in Daniel Jones, who, considering the record, has been a lot better than the numbers would suggest.
Yes.
So I'll take the Giants to win it. Bears at Titans.
Oh, man. Talk about teams that are, you know, really shouldn't be doing what they're doing at this moment. The Titans have lost 2 in a row, which we didn't see coming. The Bears, you know, they lost, you know, which I don't know, man. Like I said, I don't believe in the Bears. I don't believe they're legit. And finally, some losses are showing it. But, you know, with that being said, the Titans, you know, pick up a couple losses also. If you would have asked me the beginning of the season or 3-4 games into the season when the Titans looked like world beaters and the Bears, you know, looked like they were winning by accident, I would have said the Titans here, definitely. But this actually makes it kind of hard because I think both these teams are kind of on the same trajectory, but I think the Titans could turn it around. And I am going to take the Titans to win this one at home.
Well, they better turn it around. Losing 2 in a row, you can't do that 3 in a row as a playoff team or playoff hopeful returning to an AFC Championship game. That's not gonna fly. So they have to work. They have to win this over the team that you say is overrated. I noticed that the Bears to you are like the Raiders are to me.
Yeah.
Like, you just deep down, you know, they are like, doesn't matter what their record is, they're gonna end up 8-8.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
Well, we'll see how that turns out. I will agree with you this time. I have the Titans beating Chicago at home. Lions at Vikings.
Man, another tough game to pick right here, considering if it was 2 weeks ago, I would have said, yes, the Lions have this. The Lions are playing decent football. They're winning a game here and there. The Vikings are basically tanking. But then they came out and beat the Packers. And you can call it what you want. I mean, divisional games are what they are. And sometimes the worst team just win divisional games somehow. But this is still tough because it's also a divisional game. Man, you know, with Galladay being out and the Vikings having Dalvin Cook, Dalvin Cook's looking like Henry at this point, you know. So I think I'm going to take the Vikings to win this one at home.
Damn, you stole my pick. I was gonna make the upset pick here, if you can really call it that.
Yeah.
With the Vikings, I'll take them too. Listen, the Lions have their fair share of troubles defending the run, and if Dalvin Cook can put up even 80% of what he did against the Packers last week, they are going to dominate this game for 60 minutes. And if you can do it to Green Bay, you could do it to Detroit, who are just, like, Detroit is just the worst version of Green Bay. Like, they have a good quarterback and a bad team, but when Aaron Rodgers is a 10 and the Packers are a 3, then Matthew Stafford is like an 8 and the Lions are 2. So they're just a downgraded version of the same team the Vikings face in a very rough way, and I'll say the Vikings actually get it done here and they equal the Lions record. Panthers at Chiefs.
Well, I don't think there's a whole lot to discuss here. You know, at one point we thought that the Panthers were getting it together, and then they totally crapped in the middle of the field against the Falcons there, at home, nonetheless. I guess it'll make somewhat of a difference if Christian McCaffrey is back in this one, but I don't think it's going to put them in winning territory against probably the best offense in the entire NFL. There's no doubt about it. The Chiefs are going to win this one at home.
Wow, that sounded very, very confident. I was thinking about making this my upset pick.
Really?
I was considering it because, yeah, I mean, it just looks, look, the stars align, don't they? Chiefs, it's the middle of the season. They're clearly good. They're going to make the playoffs. This is the classic game that they lose to a team that just they shouldn't be losing to. And I'm having a really tough time making my mind up on this, where I had a really tough time making my mind up on this one. I'm going to go with the Chiefs because the odds are with them. They should win. They are the better team. It makes sense to pick them. But I will add a footnote to this prediction that if the Panthers were to win, even though I don't pick them, I get to brag about it for a second next week on the show because I brought up the possibility and saying that this is the game where it happens. But I'm not going to pick them for the record. Texans at Jaguars.
Oh man, Tank Bowl number 2 of the week, and this is another one. This is just going to come down to who is actually tanking and who's not. Now, I'm hearing rumors about Will Fuller being traded. I don't know if you've noticed that yet or not, but
yeah, he did not get traded, so he ended up not. He ended up actually staying. He was gonna maybe go to Green Bay. They didn't get it done before the deadline.
Oh, I kind of wanted to see. Yeah, I kind of wanted to see that. I wanted to see how he did with a different quarterback and how Brandon Cooks could do it as the head back. I mean, the head receiver there. But anyway. Jaguars are using their backup quarterback, another 6th-rounder, as a matter of fact, which is crazy because they're already using a 6th-rounder as their starter, and now Minshew goes out and Luton's over here, another 6th-rounder. I don't think it's really that much worse, though. I mean, I don't know, but the fact is the overall, well, I don't even know if you can say that anymore, but I would say most of the talent in this game is going to lie with the Texans, but the Texans have been picked apart so much that I really don't know anymore. But I'm going to pick the Texans on the road and say that the Jaguars maybe want a new quarterback next year.
Man, this is a tough one to pick. You would think that it makes sense for Houston. They have Deshaun Watson and J.J. Watt, and those two names alone should never allow you to be sitting at 1-6 and playing the Jaguars in a tank bowl like that. It's really unbelievable. Now, the quarterback experiment for Jacksonville could go one of two ways. This could be like a Nick Foles that comes in, throws 7 touchdowns. People didn't have time to prepare for him, and he's actually pretty good. Or like Minshew was himself. Or it could be Nathan Peterman, in which case they're going to lose the game. Mm-hmm. I have no idea. I'm going to trust with my pick. I'm going to trust my pick in the known assets, so I will take the Texans and Deshaun Watson, because more than likely he will be the better quarterback in this game. Ravens at Colts.
Man, Jesus Christ, are all these, now that I look at it, almost all of these games are extremely tough this week. Maybe 3 of them.
A lot of them.
That are clear cut, I think. But, yeah. Anyway. The Colts beat the bejesus out of the Lions. The Ravens lost a hard-fought match to the Steelers, in which that game could have went either way. Neither team really impressed a lot, and I thought Lamar Jackson was going to save it on that last drive, but it didn't quite work out. So, that Ravens offense is not running like it used to be. And the Colts offense is right now kicking in gear. And I think one thing I told you in the offseason was that, Rivers, quarterbacks have bad seasons like that sometimes. And a lot of times they come back the next season and, get the offense going again and just pick up where they left off. And we've seen it out of Ryan, and we've seen it out of Aaron Rodgers. He's doing that this year too. So with all that going down, it makes it tough, but I think I'm going to pick the Colts at home.
It's a tough one to choose. I think both of these teams are kind of in the same category in that they are like the next best team. Like, you don't really see either of these two teams going to the Super Bowl, but they'll probably both make the playoffs, maybe win a playoff game. They're like in that middle segment, kind of thing. And it's tough to pick them. People considered the Ravens to be one of the favorites before the season. A lot of people had them number one in their preseason power rankings. I'm going to take them in this matchup, and I think they're going to bounce back a little bit here. I think they have a decent matchup against a Colt defense that should have a little bit of trouble containing the run game and the versatility of the run game for Baltimore, with Lamar Jackson spraying to light, running the option a bunch more, and dealing with all the speed that Baltimore is able to provide. So I think the Ravens have the upper hand. It's going to be a close one either way, and we'll see if one of these teams will be able to separate from the second tier and really make a push, though. Seahawks at Bills.
Man, I'm kind of looking forward to this game, man, because I think this has to be the turning point for Josh Allen here. As we saw last year with Lamar Jackson, like, this was actually game number 8 and 9 is where he actually kicked it into gear and won himself the MVP. So this is going to have to be where Josh Allen does it. Yes, that was a hard-fought win over the Patriots with really bad weather, so I guess you can't really judge off of that game too much, but he had a couple bad games before that. This right here, if he comes out and shows out and balls out and puts this team on his back and beats the Seahawks right here, I am back on for him winning the MVP. If he doesn't, if he lays an egg, if he craps the bed, takes a dump in his helmet in the middle of the field, then I think it's over for him for the season. I mean, the Bills will probably still go to the playoffs, considering the division. But, I think this will be the turning point. The Seahawks still look great, beat the stew out of the 49ers. But I am going to take the Bills at home to protect my hot take.
Huh. Now I really want to take Seattle because you took Buffalo.
Yeah.
I have been undecided on this for a long time. This is the battle of two of the MVP frontrunners, really. Mm-hmm. We've been looking at, of course, the second battle of MVP frontrunners, other than Aaron Rodgers and Nick Mullins, as we all know.
Yeah.
but on a serious note, I'm going to give it to Seattle. I think Seattle is going to take it. It's going to be a really close one, and I think a lot of people would like to see this in a potential Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. I think that they are just going to be a bit more consistent getting their run game together. They were missing like all of their running backs. They're running DJ Dallas. Have you ever heard of him? I did 10 minutes before the game when I picked him up in fantasy when Joe Mixon was out. Uh-huh. So that's the first time I learned of him, and he played well. And they have a bunch of people coming back from injury. Russell Wilson is still in his groove. The receivers are super dangerous down the field with that speed, and they're going to give the Buffalo defense some fits, which the defense for Buffalo has been weaker than last year, weaker than we expected. And that's going to be a slight mismatch. It's going to be a close one either way, but I see more potential of choking with Buffalo, so I'm going to go with Seattle. Broncos at Falcons. Your Falcons.
Oh, man. Tank Bowl number 3 of the week. And this is actually a Super Bowl rematch from 1998.
Wow.
Which also means it's been 4 years since the fifth season since the Falcons were in the Super Bowl. Because every fourth season... No, that makes it 4, right? Yeah. Every fourth season, we got to play the
It was a 2016 season, so the Super Bowl early in 2017.
Yeah, okay, gotcha. But But anyway, I mean, that means it's time to play the Broncos again. It's time to play that division again. Either way, man, it's tough because the Falcons, you never know. I mean, you never know if they're actually going to tank, or they'll probably, at this point, do what we don't want to happen as Falcons fans and actually get us to 8-8 so that we don't get a high draft pick, and we'll be stuck in this situation next year unless we find a really good coach. Broncos came back and pulled one out over the Chargers that they should not have won at all, but Drew Lock pulled some magic out of the helmet there. Man, tough. I'm going to go with the Falcons at home because they are the more talented team, but if this were next year, I'd be picking the Broncos probably.
Okay, once again, I'm happy to take you up on your implicit challenge. Give me the Denver Broncos and Drew Lock, looking to make it 4-4. They are sniffing a little bit of weakness with that division all of a sudden. They could, if things go right, they could be tying the Raiders at 4-4 in the division. The Chargers keep losing games somehow, so they are looking at sneaking in a fast one there for a wild card spot. I think Falcons don't really have that hope at the moment, so I think the Broncos will come in more motivated, coming off a win, and they are going to take it at Atlanta. I will take them.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of the Raiders, they are playing at LA against the Chargers.
Is this Fraud Bowl?
No, it's not Fraud Bowl. One of those teams is clearly not a fraud. One of those teams have a good quarterback and exciting defense.
At 2-5. Yeah, I guess you could say that. No, I agree. Herbert's a good quarterback, man, and they should have won that game. Like I said, they should have beat the Broncos. And the Raiders, man, dude, they pulled out that win somehow, and it doesn't. I don't know. Whether, Henry Ruggs had a touchdown, came back. I don't know. I guess they really should have won the game. But who knows what would have happened if they were in a dome or if there wasn't bad referee calling. I don't know. Raiders being frauds. Chargers being hopefully on the way up finally. Even though as good as their offense is, they still find ways to lose games somehow. But I'll take the Chargers at home.
You just really stole my pick. I was gonna do this. I was gonna give the whole speech about how the Raiders are frauds and they're gonna go to 4-4 because they'll be 8-8 at the end of the season, and the Chargers are better than we think. Yes, I will take the Chargers. I will also take the Chargers. I really wanted you to pick the Raiders because I want that discussion every week. But yeah, Chargers. Justin Herbert to take another one. He's been playing well, hasn't been winning. And he is the least to blame for it, similar to Joe Burrow for the Bengals as well, same situation. So give me Chargers over the Raiders. They are for us 4-4, and everything will be in balance again. Mm-hmm. The undefeated Steelers at the 2-6 Cowboys.
Well, finally one that's not really difficult to figure out. There's only 3 of those on this entire slate, but. This is a old school rivalry, old Super Bowl rivalry, going back to the steel curtain versus, what they call the Cowboys, Doomsday? What was the Cowboys defense called back in the day?
In the 70s?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Was it the Doomsday device?
I don't know. They didn't do that much in the 70s. You mean like the Staub Act days, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Either ways, I wasn't alive then, so it really doesn't matter. But this right here is not going to be a game. Doesn't matter what they did in the 70s to each other. The undefeated Steelers are going to play the Ben DiNucci led Cowboys. So that tells you everything you need to know. The Steelers are going to kill them.
Absolutely. It's going to be doomsday for Dallas, and it's also going to be curtains for Dallas to bring back some references there. Steelers go to 8-0 undefeated, and we're going to have to talk more about the Steelers in future weeks, I think. Cowboys look terrible. They are contending for a top 5 pick right now. Dolphins at Cardinals.
Man, see, this right here is another game that weeks ago you would have said, oh, Cardinals easily. But now, the way the Dolphins have been playing, They kind of, I don't know how, but putting Tua in there somehow lit a fire under the defense. Now the defense is playing like world beaters, and Tua didn't do a whole lot. But I'm looking for him to actually, once he gets more acquainted with the plays, I guess, probably step up and do a little more each week. They're giving him like a soft entry right now, it seems, Flores is. But it's tough. The Cardinals have been playing great football, man. They're on a roll. I mean, before the bye week, they were handing out, ass whooping papers. I'm gonna go with the Cardinals at home. I think, but I would not be surprised if the Dolphins take this one.
That's a tough pick, and I'm excited to see more of Tua. He didn't have to do much. You're correct in that. And it was a convincing victory over a team no less than the Rams, who are not bad by any means. So the Dolphins all of a sudden look like a real team. And if Tua kind of comes into his own, finds his groove, and plays the way they expect him to play, they want to play even just as a rookie, this team is for real. And they have a chance to win this one. I'm going to take the Dolphins. I trust in their momentum. And this would be another huge marquee win. Also, they're on their way to sweeping the NFC West, which is not an easy feat by any means. Beat the Niners earlier, beat the Rams, now taking on the Cardinals. Not a lot of people do that these days, given how stacked that division is. So, Dolphins over the Cardinals. Late game, we have round number 2 between the Saints and Bucks.
Real quick, before we get on to the Saints and Bucks, I want to point out that Tua versus Kyler Murray is a rematch from the round 1 of the college football playoffs of 2018.
Would you like to tell me how that ended? So just for amusement.
Well, the Tide blew out Oklahoma.
Oh, really?
Yeah, beat the bejesus
Surprise.
out of them, yeah.
Surprise. All the way up.
And they were up by like 30-something points in the first half. Like, and 21 of it came in the first quarter. It was ridiculous. But yeah, Saints and Bucks. Is that what we're doing next?
Yes, that is what we're doing.
Okay. Saints and Bucks, man. Both of these teams are coming off of wins. Tom Brady's getting a B down there, so he thinks that, the old graybeards down there are about to win the Super Bowl this year. Man, I don't know. I don't know that really the Bucks are as great as I thought they were. When they were beating the hell out of everybody, I was like, well, maybe Tom Brady really is the greatest quarterback of all time. And maybe he still is. Not saying he's the best, but he's at least the greatest, in terms of accomplishment. But the Saints pulled out a win too. Man, it's really tough. I'm going to go with instincts on this one. I'm going to say that the Bucks aren't as legit as everyone is thinking they are at the time. And I'm going to go with the Saints and Drew Brees. This is also, what was it, 84 years old if you put the two quarterbacks together? Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. They're combined, they are as old as 4 rookie quarterbacks that are starting.
Yes.
It's unbelievable,
exactly.
Pretty much. It's crazy. I will agree with you. I will take the Saints in this one. It's a rematch. I like how your opinion on the Buccaneers and seemingly on Tom Brady's entire existence shifts from week to week. The guy's been in the league for 20 years, and he loses loses a game. You're like, they're overrated. They suck. Then they win. Man, he's the most consistent player of all time, and they are playoff bound and everything. And now they struggle against the Giants, and they're like, man, I have doubts about the Buccaneers.
That's exactly.
I love that. So
exactly.
I really hope that they blow out the Saints, so you can come in and gloat about how great they are, how they're basically the Patriots 2.0. And then the week after it changes again. But no, I will take the Saints in this one as well, saying they are going to tie up the division, or actually take the lead in the division. If Saints win their 6-2, the Buccaneers will be 6-3. The Buccaneers not having had their bye week yet. So I'm going to take the Saints. I'm going to say they take it, and it's going to be a close race. And both of these teams are playoff bound. And then Monday night, the matchup everyone has been waiting for: Patriots at Jets.
Yeah, I mean, Jesus, what an island game this is. Here's something that you hear all the time right before a Jets game, but you never hear it before a Patriots game until now. This is a tank bowl.
Wow.
The Patriots are in a tank bowl, and they might actually be tanking. It fills my heart with joy to realize that. But yeah, 2-5. Seriously, how long has it been since we could say the Patriots are 2-5? Not even. I don't think it. Definitely not in your lifetime. I don't think, because they were already winning before you were born.
Yeah, I was born in 1999. I don't think they ever were this bad.
Yeah, because that was the Drew Bledsoe year. So yeah.
Yeah.
But Jesus, man, that's an amazing feeling. It really is. I mean, unfortunately, they're going to win this game because the Jets are going 0-16, and Adam Gase is still their head coach for some reason. I mean, we're firing coaches right now. I wonder if the Jets are aware of that. Like, it's okay to fire coaches at this point in the season. Like, you don't have to wait any longer. I don't think it's going to get any better for you guys. You're not going to the playoffs. You can go ahead and get rid of him any day now. But anyway,
you got the Patriots?
Yeah, I'll take the Patriots, yeah.
Okay, I will also take the Patriots. There's no reason to bet on the Jets as long as they keep losing. I think the Jets are they're just existing now. They're going to wait through the rest of the season and then basically repeat the same mistake they made 4 years ago when they threw over everything. They were terrible, and they draft this superstar promising quarterback, and then they do absolutely exactly nothing with him. And can't be much worse in terms of coaching than Sam Darnold had to put up with, but he's going to be out of New York. It's virtually guaranteed he's going to be out. I really want him to go to San Francisco. I'm kind of miffed they didn't trade for him. But I really want to see what someone like Kyle Shanahan could do with Sam Darnold, because that would validate what I have seen in this player for years. But he's been beat up the worst possible way in New York. And as for the Patriots, I understand you really like to see them at this record. I will say I don't have any personal animosity with the Patriots. I understand not liking their methods, not liking Bill Belichick. I get that, but I never had any personal gripes with them. Still, I am glad we're not going to have to deal with them in more Super Bowls, more playoffs, at least this year. Still, they're going to beat the Jets because the Jets are absolutely terrible, and they are destined for the number one pick, which if you have the number one pick and then 4 years later you have it again, something probably didn't go right during that time.
Yeah. And you're in
That's
the top
all I have
five
to say
every
about that.
season in between.
Also, Trevor Lawrence can play another season of college football after this one. Just saying.
Oh, he could play 2, actually, because he's only...
he can't. Can he?
Yeah, because everybody got an extra year this season because of COVID.
All right. You're right, they did.
Yeah.
Wow. So if the Jets go pick first this and next year, he's just gonna stay in school forever.
And and what if both of them, Fields stays also, and the Jets are stuck picking from Jamie Newman,
Zach Wilson, Trey Lance.
Yeah.
Oh man. You know what? Here's the thing, though. On a real note, hypothetically, say Adam Gase somehow still is the head coach and the Jets are picking first overall. If I'm Trevor Lawrence, I'm gonna play in the Rocks XFL for a year and make like 6 figures and get my feet wet in terms of pro football, and then declare for the draft the year later. Yeah. Or I'm just gonna stay at Clemson if I want to get my degree anyway. Sure, why not? I don't go play for Adam Gase, and I don't go to play for the Jets as they are run. I'm going to learn from the mistakes of the past and from the sacrifice that one Sam Darnold made, and before him, Geno Smith and Mark Sanchez. I'm not doing that again. Mm-hmm. I'm going to stay out. Something needs to change for the Jets. That's our predictions. We have some betting advice if you're still here and you want to make the easiest $10 of your life. And last week we actually made $10. We won both the bets, which I am very happy about. This week, once again, we're going to make $10. It's going to be easy. Give me the Seahawks at -2.5. That is less than a field goal favorite over the Buffalo Bills. I think this could be a 10-point spread at the end of the day. Now, it's not guaranteed by any means that Seattle wins, and that's kind of where the risk comes in, but I will take Seattle at -2.5 over the Bills. And the Giants are sitting at +3. Someone in Vegas, writing the sports books, thought it was a good idea to favor the Washington Footballs by 3 points over the Giants that almost just beat the Buccaneers on national television. I don't know how that comes to be. Is it just based on record? I don't know. This is a better team. The Giants are a better football team than the football team. Let that sink in. So Daniel Jones is going to take it. This is definitely the bet. If you're not confident in Seattle, just put your $10 all on the Giants. I got 5 on each. But this is definitely the one that I would double down on if I had to choose. Easiest bet out of the entire collection this week. So there's a $10, 100% guaranteed. Put them in the bank. Easiest money you will ever make. That being said, Smokey, do we have anything to add? Or, of course, I should mention that there's going to be, for the fantasy players out there, you should stay tuned and subscribe to this channel. Check back in a few hours, maybe tomorrow, for the Hurry Up offense.
Yes.
It's gonna be very interesting as well. So be sure for that. And that being said, do you have anything to add for the matches this week?
Oh, that's it. Tank Bowl.
Okay. Couple of tank bowls, actually. We'll see how it goes. See you next week. So, everybody, thank you for watching. Drop us a like. Subscribe to Beyond Football. And we're going to see you in the next one.
Deuces.